was the case. I'm glad. Just let me know or a thumbs up when you all have testing. I see the audio. I see the audio moving, but it's not. Oh, maybe one was on? Maybe that's what it is. Okay. Maybe that's me now? Okay. That looks like me.
That's you.
So if you just give me the thumbs up when we're ready to start.
Eric's not going?
I think he's outside signing in. Somewhere. He's right there.
Yes. Yeah, I'm working on it. I promise. Now, by the way, I couldn't tell from your email whether you were.
I think it may be.
Sorry.
Oh, hello.
Hey, how are you? Okay. Good. Check out.
We all know this. He actually said, "Where's Eric?"
I didn't catch up.
Yeah, I said,
I didn't catch up.
Yeah, I think that's what we have to do actually.
Damn.
37.
Yeah, we already have
Your first one. Oh, your kid, your son, your daughter, somebody. Or Dan.
We have just one
You can wait for it.
Okay. Just let me know when.
I think you can start with one.
Okay, excellent. So let me go ahead and call the meeting to order. Appreciate everybody coming tonight. I know it was, we're trying to split the meetings, these first couple of meetings, so we have a lot of stuff to deal with, so I appreciate everybody coming. Let's start real quick with the roll call so we can make sure everybody's here. We start down at the end over here.
Eric Chuckett.
Yes, Charlie.
Sean Dini.
Dan Thomas.
Mike Minister.
Francis Whiskey.
Jose Cabrera.
Steve Manuel.
Juan Bar.
Okay, great. So we have every member of the board present. But one.
Bob.
Oh, Bob. Hi. Bob is out of town, so we have eight members of the board here. Excuse me. Okay, the president's report is going to be short. Again, we wanted to deal with some very important issues. The majority of the issues that we're going to be dealing with are on the agenda, so I don't need to belabor the point because we're going to be here for approximately 55 more minutes because we have to leave at 6:30. So I'm going to jump right in to new business. The first item of order is recommendation for CPA firm to complete the 2014 tax audit returns. You'll recall at the last board meeting, the board voted in favor of having the finance committee come back with recommendation as to who to hire in terms of an independent CPA to perform the 2014 tax audit so we can meet our tax deadlines. So I'm going to turn it over now to Jose Cabrera, who's our chairman of the finance committee. You got the floor.
Sure. Hello, everybody. Before moving into the independent audit, I did not present the monthly numbers for the previous last meeting. I just did for the year today. So for the record, I'm going to present it today. For the month of December 2014, we had a $136,174 fees collected. We had $137,197.71 of expenses, and we had a deficit of $6,982.19. That's just for the month of December. Moving on to the audit firm, the finance committee drilled down to 3 firms. None of them were referred by the property management. The finance committee did the due diligence. The committee conducted its own research. One of the firms that was selected for review was forwarded by the audit committee. The finance committee would like to recommend Parks and Company for a fee of $7,500 to conduct the audit of the financial statements of the association as of the year ended December 31st, 2014. In addition, he will also cover the annual corporate tax compliance for the association for the year ended December 31st, 2014, and annual related compliance filings. The firms that were selected represents a number of associations throughout the state of Florida, and their expertise provides a depth knowledge of accounting and auditing of associations. The Finance Committee is also aware that some homeowners are concerned to conduct more audits, but the committee also considers the cost that is involved. So the Finance Committee recommends to wait for the results of the 2014 independent audit and hear from the auditor if additional work is necessary based on the findings and proceed accordingly.
Which firm?
KSS.
Which firm did you recommend?
We recommend Parks and Company, LLC.
And the CPA conducting that would be who?
I'm sorry?
What's the CPA's name that you selected?
Christopher Parks. He's the owner of the firm.
And what was the basis of that? What was the basis of your selection?
Like I said, we selected 3 firms. We'll look at the size. We'll look at their.
What size are they?
I'm sorry?
What's their size?
The number of employees that they have.
Yeah, what's the number? I'm asking you about this specific firm that you recommended. Is this the one that the audit committee forwarded?
There's 2. No, it isn't. There's 2 employees.
How many?
CPA, 2. The CPA firm, which is the owner, Christopher Park, and he has a partner also that helps him.
Do you really, okay, and what, I would absolutely disagree that this would be the right firm for us. We did our due diligence and found firms that were recommended by the head guy that oversaw the CIRA compliances of HOAs. He headed up this department by the Department of Florida Revenue for over 30 years. We sent these over to the Finance Committee to be considered. These are large firms that have experience with issues. We have so many questions that I have raised personally regarding our filing of sales tax, how we conduct our capitalization policies, to, again, turn this over to a very small firm without the expertise and availability to obtain expertise, to me would be ridiculous. It's a waste of money. We really need to look at a firm that's bigger, that's qualified, recommended by the top people in the state. We don't need a mom and pop shop. We've already had that. We've had that from the beginning. This is an elected board. We have due diligence that we must perform in making sure that, you know, there's nothing involved with First Service, that they take a look where they're looking at our financials in the most appropriate professional manner, that have the full support, where they can go to their own people and request questions being answered. So I would recommend that we not take that firm.
Can I ask you a couple of questions?
Sure.
Follow up on KS's points. Just so I can have some context and so that the members of the audience can have some context. Can you, Jose, explain to us, you said there were 3 firms?
Correct.
Okay. Of the 3 firms, I know Parks was the one that was being recommended. What are the other firms that the Finance Committee looked at in terms of potential CPA firms?
There was a big firm, firms. It was about 80 employees, and there was another one that it was like in the middle.
Okay, so there was a small, medium, large, so to
Correct.
speak.
Yeah.
Of the 3 firms, I assume that the audit would be handled by the CPA and one of those firms, right?
Yeah.
Can you give this board an understanding or better understanding of what the numbers were that came in on the bids, just so we know?
There was 2. It was the same 7,500. The other one was.
Could you put some name with the numbers?
Can you post something so we can see it?
Let me ask the question.
Okay.
So the firm that the Finance Committee is recommending is Parks and Company.
Correct.
For $7,500.
Correct.
The firm that has the 80 employees, is that the Proctor firm?
That's the practice.
Okay, that's the Proctor Crowd firm. And what was their bid number?
same amount, $7,500.
Okay. And what was the third firm, the mid-sized firm?
The third one was $5,500, but they were going to charge extra for all the forms that needed to be filled.
Some a la carte treatment?
Correct.
Okay, of the mid-sized firm, what was the name of the mid-sized firm, so I can use your name appropriately if you can remember?
I do recognize it is, get that with my head.
Okay. We'll refer to them for right now as the mid-sized firm. What I'm trying to understand was, and again, I'm just trying to get into sort of the thinking of the committee because I want to have a better understanding of the recommendation. With respect to these firms, was the request for scope of work the same?
It's the same, exactly the same.
Okay. And then, what was the finance committee's expected staffing for an audit of this size? Is it one person?
1 to 2, depending.
1 to 2,
Yes.
okay.
But one per all issue
Okay.
is sufficient.
Okay. And as I understand it, the question that was asked, or the factors that were considered was the size of the firm?
Correct.
Okay. So it looks like we've gone small, medium, large on the size.
Yes.
What other factors did the finance committee use when it was determining the evaluation of the bidders?
We wanted a small firm so we can have more direct contact, because usually large firms, they send employees, and the turnover sometimes is high in the audit industry, so they might send someone today, someone else the next week. But with a small firm, we know that it will be the same individual from A to Z, from start to end.
For these three firms, I heard 7,500 for the small, 7,500 for the large, and 5,500 for the mid-size.
Right.
Are these costs not to exceed?
Yes, that's not a good thing. That was the total cost. Except the middle one, that the forms were going to be extra.
Can you tell me why we would not be taking the $5,500 firm on a cost not to exceed 5,500?
Because it was a larger firm, and we felt that the cost, it wasn't a big difference in base of our budget, so we didn't think that the fee was something.
The $5,500 was required, actually money per form, correct?
Correct.
Do we know how much per form it would have been?
We don't know, they have to look at the form first.
I have a question. What documents were sent for the auditors to consider our engagement? What documents did you send? The organizing documents, and did you send the audit to pass and return?
We sent the budget for the past 2 years, and we sent the financials for the 2014.
So in other words, they're going to perform an audit without even consulting our organizing documents. That's not part of your audit, is that correct?
I'm sorry, is that again?
Okay, the firms that I dealt with that were sent over to you specifically requested that we send them all our organizing documents and our financials and our budgets and our results. Now to me, that's the kind of firm that we want in here. What I'm asking you is, did you think that maybe the ones that you're asking to do the audit that didn't require these documents are really competent enough to do our audit as necessary?
Like I said, they serve other HOAs around the state. That's for
Okay,
experts.
that's not ours, okay?
Let me finish those answers.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, sorry.
May I ask a question? What are you referring to, organized documents? What is it specifically you're referring to?
So what documents did you send them?
Excuse me, I asked you a question. You asked him that was these items sent. What are you talking about when you're saying was the organized documents, and what are you specifically talking about?
Articles of incorporation, declaration, and bylaws. Those are organizing documents. And when you look for, excuse me?
Once we provide we engage with them, then we're going to send them documents.
Well, see, the problem with that, the only problem with that is you're really not giving that person a fair opportunity to put in a bid for our engagement.
Well, that's why I asked if it was a cost not to exceed, because then that's their risk. Right?
Without our organizing document, without the proper information in front of somebody, how are they going to know what we're doing or how to handle this? I mean, it's like walking in blind. Because part of our function in operating as an HOA is in compliance with our organizing documents. So if you're just gonna send me some financials, what you just told me is the only thing I want you to look at is my finances. So if the only thing that I'm engaging is a financial audit, that's not truly a certified HOA audit.
That's the same language that the firms that you forwarded to us use. It's exactly the same thing, all three firms.
I'm sorry, the ones that I sent out, when I requested the bid, they specifically came back to me and said, send me your budget, send me your documents.
I just said that we send all three firms that. We send them the budget,
Yeah.
we send them the financials,
Yeah.
that's all they ask.
And you sent them the organizing documents?
I said the financials.
They've done. Mike,
Yeah, you said that Parks represents HOAs throughout the state. Do you know how many HOAs
No.
they represent?
No, we do not have. But that's the, also the.
I understand that's their specialty, but I mean, okay. I was just curious for a number, because I mean, I can say it's my specialty and I represent two of them, so that is my specialty. Because those are the only two people I work with as a client, that's why I was asking, I just didn't know how to.
Well, just so you know that once you engage a CPA, all that information is sent in, and they see all the organizations.
I'm not asking about-
No, I just wanted to finish answering
Oh,
your
I
question,
was-
just because it was not answered properly.
I do have.
hold on. I got another question. If I may, and I'll let you ask more questions. I'm trying to get an understanding of the context of these firms, because we as a board have a fiduciary duty to our members to make sure that we are doing the right thing here. Can you tell me the size of the firm that did last year's, their number of employees, what the cost was, so that we have some historical background?
It was just one.
It was one person?
Yeah.
Not one person.
He probably had an assistant, but it was just.
3 years.
Yeah.
So one person, was it recommended by the management company, or was it, okay, so it was recommended by the management company. And what was the cost?
$3,000.
$3,000, okay. And my understanding of that was that there were substantial disclaimers on the audit, meaning that they weren't taking a lot of responsibility for that.
They would
Is
do
that-
the deep type of accounting,
Right.
where they would
Right.
come and do recommendations.
Right.
Whereas this accounting firm actually said that they would review, and if there were recommendations to be made on accounting practices or how they were doing their checks and balances, that he would make a recommendation.
How do you know that?
But it's a double
How do I
price.
know that?
Yeah, how did you know that that's what that company said?
Well, he told me when we walked in, that's what they said.
Oh, I was just curious, because if you got an email regarding that, it's something I wanted to, I was like, well,
He
I
happened
was
to just
like, well,
mention that to me, I thought that
okay.
that was a very good point.
Okay, so let me see if I can bring some order to this. What is the time frame? My understanding at the last meeting, and maybe I was the only one in the room that felt this way, but my understanding at the last meeting was that we needed to make a decision quick. And that's why we asked the finance committee to go through this process and make a recommendation. Is it still the case that we need to make a decision quickly on the item?
There's a form that needs to be submitted by March 15th.
Okay.
And any firm, any other that would like to get their hands, I have the bid with me, the engagement letter, so we can sign it. So the, Mr. Park can start immediately tomorrow, possibly, putting that information together so he can send the form in. Or, he can send an extension. But to send an extension, he needs to have some information.
And just to follow up to that, it is critical that we hire somebody. Hiring the wrong person is the wrong move. There is a 3/15 deadline, which clearly can be extended. So there is no drop dead, oh, we hired that, hurry up and do it now. I mean, the impression I got when we had authorized the finance committee to take this on was that they were going to really look into this and do what